Well, good morning. Well, close to good afternoon. It was unfortunate that President Trump decided to move forward with an additional 25% tariff on our steel and our aluminum. I had a conversation with Minister Dominic LeBlanc. He was over in Washington, and I've really encouraged himself and the Prime Minister, as I've always said, it's tariff for tariff, dollar for dollar. We need to tariff the steel coming into Canada at an additional 25%, totaling 50%. What President Trump has done here is increased the tax of $15 billion on the backs of Americans. We know just steel alone, anything built with steel in the U.S. has gone up 16%, and I've directed our office to make sure anything that we build here, the $30 billion that we're importing, to onshore as much as we can. I'm going to have another meeting with 3 or 4 of the large steel companies, getting a list, no matter if it's steel beams or rebar, to see how we can support them. The federal government can support them on manufacturing, because right now we're shipping in approximately $30 billion. That's going to cost Americans tens of thousands of jobs, and isn't it a shame? I have another idea. Why don't we work together and create 250,000 new steel jobs in the U.S. and in Canada? And on top of that, anything that we manufacture or we build here in Ontario, and we're building approximately $200 billion worth of infrastructure projects, they have to use Ontario steel, Canadian steel at all costs. And that's what we're going to do to retaliate. Again, everything's on the table, but it's unfortunate that President Trump and his team in the U.S. have thought this was a great idea. I think they can't see the forest beyond the trees. This is going to hurt the American people, and we're going to do everything we can, again, to onshore the $30 billion of steel that we import from the U.S.
What kind of retaliatory measures are you pondering right now? I mean, I know the ambassador was here yesterday. You spoke about the booze on LCBO shelves.
Yes.
Is there anything more that Ontario is going to do?
Well, I always say everything's on the table right now, and we had an agreement before that he was going to take off the other 25% to keep it at 25%, and unfortunately they broke a verbal agreement. And that's unfortunate. It's going to cost the American people $15 billion when you add up the steel and aluminum. It's going to hurt them to a tune of $30 billion of all the steel that we import. And we'll have this conversation with the large steel companies over the next few days to see what products they can produce, how we could support them. And that's our goal.
Are you going to bring back the electricity surcharge? Because I thought you dropped that in exchange for some of this. And
yeah. I agree with you. I want to make sure that we get a deal. I understand we're close to making a deal, and I want to make sure that the federal government slaps another 25% on their steel. But regards to electricity, everything's on the table right now.
So, Premier, did Minister LeBlanc give you any indication that they're going to do that? Because they haven't said whether they're going to match the new tariffs.
Well, he didn't give me a guarantee, but I'll be all over him. We can't sit back and let President Trump steamroll us, try to shut down our steel industry, take jobs down to the U.S. He has no regard whatsoever for jobs here in Ontario, and we need to slap another 25% tariffs on the steel that's coming into Ontario and Canada as a whole.
Did you get the sense that Ottawa is holding back because they're going to strike some sort of deal before they double the tariffs? Like, why wouldn't the federal government have already matched them?
That's a conversation I'm sure I'll be having today with Minister LeBlanc. We need to react immediately. We just can't sit back, because every single day that goes by, it gives uncertainty to the sectors. It adds additional cost on the steel. So we need to react immediately. We need to put that other 25% on as soon as possible. And, deal or no deal, if it's coming soon, well, President Trump wouldn't do what he's doing, and again, throwing an additional 25%. But it hurts both countries, and I can assure you, it's going to hurt the U.S. as well.
Premier, on Bill 5, are you going to go ahead with that as is without some of the government amendments to it?
Yeah, Richard, good question. It's a shame that they want to play politics and try to run out the clock and not allow us to put in amendments. But what I can assure you with Indigenous communities across Ontario, we're going to have duty to consult. We're going to respect treaty rights. This is about supporting Indigenous communities. The $3 billion of equity that they've never had before, we're offering equity, a stake in any project that we do, along with a consultation, along with $70 million of training, and another $10 million for scholarships. Again, you know, a lot of these chiefs, they're very progressive. They want to make sure their communities thrive and prosper, and this is how you get your communities to thrive and prosper. And I've talked to a few of them. They want a better life for their children than what they had. They want a better quality of life, and we're there to support them and help them any way we can.
Your Ottawa Bureau has a new director, Scott Bellman. It's the second in a row to have lost his campaign as a Conservative candidate in Commander Carleton. Why did you choose a second failed candidate as your Ottawa Bureau director?
Well, we're looking for a good quality person, which we found one with Scott that understands Ottawa. I'll be meeting with the mayor, I believe today. He's dropping by today to have a conversation. We've supported Ottawa unlike any other region on all the sorts of projects that we've put forward. We took the biggest burden off their backs by taking over their transit system that was failed on phase one, because the previous mayor was, in my opinion, was not keeping the eye on the ball per se. So we'll be supporting them along with all the other parts of the deal that we agreed with the mayor.
Premier, on Bill 5, it seems destined to end up in the courts. Is this something that you would use the notwithstanding clause to save?
Well, I hope it won't end up in the courts, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But even the federal government is saying we have to get permits within 2 years. And even the government, the NDP government in BC, is taking the same approach. We need to get moving. Folks, we can do two things. We can sit back and basically watch our economy die and jobs being lost, or we can move forward, work collaboratively with the stakeholders along with Indigenous communities, and everyone thrives. But option one is sitting back. That's not our government. That's not what I was elected on. I was very, very clear during the election what we're going to do. We're going to speed up the permitting, and the people spoke.
Why didn't you mention special economic zones during the election campaign in February?
Again, Richard, we said that we're going to move rapidly. We aren't going to sit back and wait 15 years to get shovels in the ground while the whole world is eating our lunch. We have more critical minerals than anyone in the world. That's one of our economic drivers, and we're going to move forward as quickly as possible. Again, working side by side with our Indigenous communities, which we have, by the way. There's a tremendous amount of chiefs around the province that are excited, that are willing to move forward, because they know that it's going to bring prosperity. It's going to bring a better quality of life to the community. It's going to create economic development, and they're going to share in the wealth.
Last question. If there is a blockade of any highways,
Yes.
What are you prepared to do?
Well, you can't break the law. Simple as that. If any of us go stand and block the highways, they need to move on, or they'll be dealt with appropriately. They cannot just break the law, and I don't think the people of Ontario would be there supporting them. They can.
What does dealt with appropriate?
That would, I don't direct the police. That would be up to the OPP or local police if they start doing that. But in my opinion, that wouldn't be very, very wise whatsoever.
Premier, on tariffs, just quickly,
Yeah.
you've just had this First Minister's meeting with the Prime Minister in Saskatoon. It was very warm and fuzzy. Everyone was getting along really well.
Yeah.
Will the Premiers back whatever Mr. Carney decides to do in terms of retaliation? I'm asking you, I guess, as chair of the COF.
Well, I always say I never speak for all the premiers. I support them 1,000% on retaliation, and I'm sure the rest of the premiers will as well. either two things. You're either standing up for Canada and protecting people's jobs, their livelihoods, protecting communities and the people and the jobs that they have, or you sit back and get steamrolled. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight back with every tool we have in our toolbox to protect the people of Ontario and protect the jobs in the communities.
Catherine had a question, sorry.
Yes, Catherine.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Go ahead.
Does this mean that you will be using the legislation over the summer without any amendments in place?
Well, it's unfortunate. They wanted to play politics and drag this out, and we wanted to put the amendments out. But the most important thing is there's going to be consultation with First Nations communities, and we'll sit around the table. And I'm very confident when any project comes up, when we sit down, and they're a partner. I've seen it before. When it comes to duty to consult, which is very important, and we are going to do it, if they have an equity partnership, it moves like grease lightning. It goes through because they want prosperity. They want to get the project going. So that's the approach we're going to take, a very collaborative approach, and cooperate with all stakeholders, no matter if it's communities and mayors or First Nations communities. That's what we believe that will help everyone as a whole in Ontario and across our great country. But thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Politics by cutting out all of the debate time.
Yeah, no, it's not wait time. We're going to get it done. Shovels in the ground and extract.
Speaking of grease lightning,
The other